welcome, everybody. It's really wonderful to see you all on the screen, all your faces. And I'm going to begin, as we always do in Australia, with Unitarian kind of gatherings, with a land acknowledgement. So I invite us to take a moment to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the lands on which where each of us are joining from. So in Australia, we honour the Torres Strait and Islander people as the first Australians, and we pay our respects to their elders, past and present. We also recognise and honour Indigenous peoples across the world, in the Americas, Europe, Asia, Africa and the Pacific, with their deep care for the land, water and community that continues to sustain life and wisdom for all. May this awareness ground our time together in gratitude, respect and shared responsibility for the earth. So good morning, good day and good evening. It's quite late in the night for me. My name is Renee Hills, and on behalf of the membership engagement team, all of whom you'll meet on this call, I want to welcome each one of you. As I said, it's really good to see all your faces. And now I'd like to hand over to Susanna, who's our newest member of our membership engagement team. And she is going to take us through a chalice lighting and opening words for our call.
Thank you so much. And I'm lighting the
You've got a chalice? I like one
and
too.
the chalice. Here is the chalice. We gather together in real time throughout the continents and time zones to light the flame of our community. We witness together our sisterhood, our pathways, our struggles, and our joys. Today, we uplift our hearts toward the eternal spirit as we arrive in this connection this very hour. May this flame be the sign of hope, faith, and love. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, Susanna, for those beautiful words. I'll just explain why we are hosting this call and what we expect to do in our time together. So it's a special call. It's been inspired by the membership engagement team in an effort to build stronger connections between the members of ICUUW, which, as we all know, is an organisation that operates almost 100% of the time online. So I was thinking if we could do this meeting in a room together somewhere, we'd have drinks and we'd have food and we'd pull up a chair and lean in closer to hear each other's conversation. And so I invite you to imagine that you've come to a special place, a place where you feel safe, where you feel welcome, and where you can share authentically and open your hearts to the stories of others. To begin with, we're going to have several members talking about why they are involved with ICUUW and what it means to them. So I think, I don't know whether Genya has joined us, but I think that we have with us Sylvie, Gizzy and Ciro. And we also have a video from Algiva. So although Algiva's not feeling very well and unable to participate, we have video that we can play from her. So after listening to these stories, we're going to move into breakout rooms where we will have an opportunity to connect and hear each other's stories in smaller groups. There's absolutely no requirement to share, but we'd just love to hear what you have to say. Sylvie Niramana is passionate and driven young adult committing to advancing gender equity and social justice on a global level. Sylvie is an active member of ICUUW and serves as a board member of the organisation. So, Sylvie, when you're ready, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Rini. Hello, everyone. Thank you to the ICUUW membership team for the opportunity to speak about my experience and the importance of being part of the ICUUW community. Unitarian Universalist from East Africa. Since 2012, my husband is the founder of UU Church back home. I'm now living in Nova Scotia, Canada, where I relocated with my family few years, like 2 years ago. It was November 2023. I remember now. Yeah, it's 2 years. And my first time joining ICUUW, it was when the COVID-19 pandemic began. Before I came here to Canada, I had relocated from my country to a neighboring country. So it was new country, and the COVID hit, and everybody was afraid, and we had to quarantine, no going out. So now I had a friend who was a member of ICUUW. She invited me to the Tuesday gathering. They had started online. It was Tuesday Zoom 2020 when the COVID began. So I started connecting, and when I connected and when I met these women, they were passionate. And whatever the subject, whatever we talked about, it fed me. It made me feel I was not alone. I was scared of the pandemic, but we navigated throughout those Tuesday Zoom. It was so uplifting, and I got inspired. I quickly became interested in the organization mission and history. My involvement grew when the ICUUW leadership gave me a chance to attend an ICUUW International Young Adult Network program in 2022. I gained valuable skills like leadership, coaching, and project management. After I finished the program, I was honored to be elected in June 2023. I became ICUUW board member responsible for African connections. I'm glad to be a voice of my fellow African, and I appreciate so much the ICUUW support for initiatives like the UU Maasai, women in Kenya, and many positive impacts they are doing around the globe. ICUUW focuses on connecting women globally to enhance women leadership and self-determination while working to eliminate discrimination. If you are looking for a way to invest your time, your money to a mission that truly matter, where all your work help change lives worldwide, please, I welcome you to join us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sylvie, for those very heartfelt words. That's a very special story about connection in difficult times and how that can be so helpful. So let us just take a moment to pause in gratitude for Sylvie's story and for her enthusiasm for ICUUW. Thank you, Sylvie. Genya has been involved in international work since 2002. She served on the board of directors of the former UUA UN office for 6 years. And she was one of the co-founders of Every Child is Our Child, a program, a very popular program that paid school tuition for AIDS orphans at the elementary and junior high school level. And that was in East Africa too, wasn't it, Kenya?
It was in Ghana.
In Ghana, yeah. She was at the Houston meeting of the ICUUW, where ICUUW was actually founded, the very first meeting, and has followed its progress ever since. And she decided to become more involved after she retired, and so that she could continue to play a role in improving the lives of women and girls around the world. So, Genya, over to you.
One of the reasons this work is very important to me personally, it's in my own story. I was born in 1945 in a displaced persons camp in Germany, and I lived in 4 different camps in 5 years that we spent in these camps. And one of the reasons that my mother and I spent so much time in the camps is there was no place for us to immigrate to. All the borders were closed. My mother could not go back to Poland because, first off, the part of Poland that she lived in had now become part of Russia. Her family, mostly who had died or was killed during the war, they weren't there, and the few members of the family that were left were all over the place. And in about 1948, the UN started to function in these camps. And there was a group of women in South America that realized that there were so many women and children left in these camps with no place to go, that they started pressuring the UN committee to open up immigration, to put pressure on governments to open up immigration. And that's actually what they did. And the UN pressured the US to allow to open up its immigration. And Harry Truman actually did that. And once Truman opened up the immigration to the US, based on the pressure from the UN that actually came directly from a lot of the women in South America, my mother and I applied for status to come to the UN, to the US, and we finally managed, after lots of red tape, to arrive here in September of 1950. We were sponsored by Catholic Charities. They paid our passage, and we ended up on a farm in Pennsylvania. And at that time, when you sponsored an immigrant, you had to be responsible for them fully for 5 years. And eventually, my mother was able to find my mother's brother, her uncle, and they came and met us at the farm. And the next week, they came and picked us up and moved us in with them. And I lived with my aunt and uncle, my grandmother's brother and his wife, for 16 years. So without the UN, and more importantly, without women who have never met me or my mother or any of the other people in the camps, pressuring, but knowing that there was a need, pressuring various organizations, none of this would have happened. So my feeling is that even when we do our work, and maybe we don't see the benefits of it, people do benefit. And I think it's important for us to care about all the women and children in the world that need help. So that's why I'm involved with the organization. I think it's a great organization. It's personal. I've met a lot of wonderful people. And I feel that we do good in the world. So that's why I'm involved with this organization.
Thank you so much, Genya, for that heartfelt story and the way it has given meaning to your work with ICUUW. Let's just take a pause for a moment in gratitude for Genya's story and for all that she still continues to do. Thank you, Genya.
You're welcome.
Now I think we could have the video recording from Aljiva, who's in the Khasi Hills area of India.
Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Aljiva Shulai from India and I'm representing the Senkanthai from the Khasi Hills, Khasi Jaintia Hills of Meghalaya, which is in the northeast of India. I've been with the ICUUW for quite some time now. It's almost 9 years and my experiences have been very, very good. I learn a lot and I've also learned to work together with other women internationally, and each one of the friends that I met online and physically whenever we are able to meet were very, very helpful, very nice and very, very warm-hearted. I have lived with them for a few days as and when I'm abroad, and they've always been like my second family. So first of all, we should understand that ours is a non-profit organization in which we depend heavily on our members who supported us throughout, and we have already celebrated 10 years and running of our existence, and we have been able to help many, many women and girls in different developing countries in our UU organizations and also extending to our communities. So first, I would like to express my gratitude to each and every member, each and every woman who are in this group and maybe not very active, but they have been supporting us, especially financially, whenever we have our campaigns, to be able to reach out to women who need our help. So I am really thankful to them because they have taken our work seriously and keep supporting us whenever we have to extend our help to others. So the work that we are doing is mainly to empower and to enrich women's life, to uplift their life, to better their diet and nutrition, and to eliminate violence, which is every woman is facing. And these are the things that we are working for, and we have done good work throughout the years. Thank you to all your support. Our mission is very big. Those of us who are well placed and better off need to engage themselves in helping this organization because it is all for a good cause. The second thing I want to share is the Tuesday gathering, which means so much to me. Here I look forward to them twice a month, where I could share and meet familiar faces from all over the world, share their joys and sorrows, and just talk about how UU is growing throughout the world. I think what we are doing is very important because this is how we live our faith. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aljiva, for those beautiful words. Her voice and her actions just speak to the sincerity and the purpose of those words. So let's just take a moment to pause in gratitude for Aljiva and all the work that she does with ICUUW, and for the women in the Khasi Hills area in the Seng Thai organisation. And now we'll hear from Gizzy, an old friend. And I haven't got any words of introduction, but what Gizzy is going to say will explain it all, I'm sure. So take it away.
Okay, so greetings from Transylvania. My story with ICUUW was started before it was born. And I think your story, Rainy, is similar. Because we met in 2012, first time at the Philippines. And yes, ICUUW was born when we met. Okay. So for me to be member of the organization is the impact of a phone call. In 2009, Kathy Cordes, the executive director of UUPCC, called me in the middle of night to tell that I had 4 days to be ready and attend the first international convocation for UU women. Somebody sponsored me. I don't know that person's name. This was a great gift to me, so I felt I had to express my gratitude, not only with feelings, but also with actions. That is why I started volunteering in 2012 by organizing the second convocation in Transylvania. Someone spent a lot of money on me, so I wanted to return something. I could offer only my time and my energy. I have never organized such a big event in my life, but I had a fantastic team and many financial supporters. We had more than 250 regular participants and almost 600 on Saturday. The second convocation yielded a substantial profit, which enabled us to undertake projects to enhance women's life in Transylvania, from leadership school to workshops and seminars aiming to prevent gender-based violence and strengthen the capacity of the local Unitarian women's associations. The opportunity to me and to meet and work with founders of ICUUW, Barbara Kresbich, Laura Nagel, and Zsofia Stranitsky, executive director of the organization, gave me the opportunity to dare to step out of my comfort zone, to trust myself and believe that I am capable of much more than I have undertaken so far in addition to my duties. I was born in a very small Transylvanian village. I was already in school when electricity was installed. I was in high school when my parents bought a television, but there were only a few hours of programming, and 80% of that was about our communist president and the Romanian Communist Party. ICUUW allowed me to gain new perspective on the world, to meet different cultures, which gave me the opportunity to learn a lot and have very special experiences. I consider it a great achievement that we have been able to work together for 13 years, even though some of us only meet on screen. I love the meetings in person. There is more magic in it than in the on-screen meeting. Our eyes sometimes communicate the most during face-to-face meetings. This is broken by the screen, but working together from different countries is only possible through modern technology. It is a big challenge because we have different cultural backgrounds. It may happen that what is natural in my culture hurts someone living in another one. Sometimes we may not understand each other, but I believe that when we ask each other with an open heart, it is not because we have bad intentions, because we are trying to understand the other. I respectfully ask the members to be open-hearted, patient, listen to each other, and accept that it may happen that we think differently about the same fact. Remember that during COVID, when it was difficult to even leave our apartments, Jofi organized the first Tuesday Zoom meetings. This was our only opportunity to connect with our ICUUW sisters living across the borders, to encourage each other to rejoice or mourn together like a real community. This has become a tradition. It is very good, and it is our responsibility to keep it alive. Thanks to Rini and her teammates for organizing the meetings for the members. I hope this also would become a tradition, and we can create a real international community and learn a lot from each other. I am not the best person to talk about our achievements, but I would like to mention a few of them. Thanks to the second convocation and ICUUW, we were able to organize leadership trainings in Transylvania for 6 years, and once before COVID in Hungary. This was a pioneering series of actions. The long-term outcome of the trainings, which some of the members have already heard a lot about, can still read in the winter newsletter and the upcoming mental health handbook. At the same time, I can also mention our projects in India, Bolivia, Kenya, Uganda, the Philippines, Guatemala, and Ukraine. At the end, I would like to mention that I attended all the convocations. I will highlight 2 names among the wonderful speakers, Rebecca Adamson and Margot Adler, and share 2 quotations from them. First, Margot Adler, if you are women and dare to look within yourself, you are a witch. You make your own rules, you are free and beautiful. Are we witches or not? I don't know, but I know that we all are beautiful. Rebecca Adamson's is about us as a community. We are the canaries in the mine. If we go, the last ecosystems go. So does the wisdom of how to sustain resources, live in a balance with nature, and create communities based on cooperation, not competition. I know we are here to share them, but we can only share them if we are here. I wish to stay together and be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gizzy, for those words. And let's just take a pause in gratitude for what Gizzy has shared and all the amazing development that has grown out of her connection with ICUUW. a connection that began, as she said, with a phone call in the middle of the night, which is pretty amazing. Yeah. And finally, we have Siro from Kenya to share with us her story of involvement with ICUUW.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are from. My name is Wilda Kwamboka Siro from Nairobi, Kenya. I think I'm just, I'll turn 1 year old in ICUUW since I became a member on 10th September. So you need to celebrate my first birthday during that day. So my story is, I was a stranded Catholic before I found the UU faith through Pastor Justin Magara. So as I joined him and I joined his congregation in Maasai, at one point he told me, you need to get busy, you need to join other women. Then he registered me in ICUUW. So before I could even zoom into any Tuesday meeting, I went to their page and I got moved a lot with their mission values and goals in connecting UU women across the globe. So the way they were building trust in other women around, I felt really good. I volunteer and dedicate myself because I believe like creating a better environment, a better life for women, both young and the old, creates peace in the community, and thus the community thrives a lot. Because anytime the community is being having any challenges, be it disaster, drought, the most victims are always women and children. So this one really moves me a lot. So my first time, like the best moment in my life, is when I got an invitation to attend the 4th Convocation in Romania. So during the process of preparing on coming and going back, I was really happy with the president of ICUUW, Tina, because she could contact on a daily basis, following up and down how the process is going. During the process, she referred me to Sylvie, only to find that Sylvie is my East African sister, and she motivated me a lot. Now she explained to me in a home language what ICUUW is, what UU faith is, the freedom in UU, and I felt like, so this is the home I have been looking for. And as I got to Romania, away from home, miles and miles, I was like, how am I going to survive? I got the best welcome ever in my life. You know, I made friends, sisters. I believe most of you on the call today, I met you in Romania and we made the connection. So since then, I started tuning in every Tuesday meetings, and I got more connection, as I'm still getting more connection. Through that, the ICU workshop after the convo gave me a tip of continuing with my volunteer work of educating Maasai women on food and nutrition, especially to children, that has yielded to a project that has been adopted by ICUUW. That right now we want to pipe the water through the ground, do farming through irrigation using the piped water. And also, we have already done groundbreaking. I've got a good title with the Master Women. They've gained trust in me because it's just barely 1 year since I introduced the project, and it's yielding a lot. I've been adopted there. They have also changed my name to a Maasai name. So that means soon my name is going to appear on the screen in a different way. So I'm really happy, especially how I connect on emotional stories, different women from different worlds, Aljiva giving stories, how she's working with women in India. Everybody's giving their stories. Gizi, how she has given her story is really touching, and this keeps me, feel emotionally connected to the stories of the members of ICUUW here in the virtual meetings. And this keeps me focused on the values and visions and goals of ICUUW. Through this, I'm promising, and I'm also wish to connect more women. Also, I've connected one, Jane, who is on the call today. Jane, welcome.
Thank you, Cyril.
Okay, so you're welcome. Let's spread this across Africa, across Kenya, and across the whole world. Now, I got my story being read by women outside the world. I feel that my legacy, my story changes somebody elsewhere, as other women's stories are changing mine here in Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wilda. That's just so inspiring. And yeah, we've heard about the project that you're doing, and it just sounds absolutely wonderful. So we'll just take a pause and thank you for all the work that you're doing and for what you shared. It was a highlight for me at the Convo, actually meeting you and being in a workshop with you. Totally inspiring. Thank you. So we've heard from a whole range of people. What a rich diversity of stories we have of what it means to be involved with ICUUW. I say welcome back to the main room, everyone. And yes, Alison is going to take us through the next part of the call.
So we just wanted now to have a little bit of a summary from all the little small group meetings back to our larger group so that we can share the insights and the stories from the small groups as well to our larger community. So we'll take a chance to go room by room and have just a highlight or a summary, whatever you would like to share with the rest of us about what was the main theme or maybe the highlight of your room. So I guess let's start with room 1.
That's me. There I had Anne, Noel, Adele, Eric, and I, and in our talks, for one, Rebecca Parker showed up a couple times, which is really interesting, and all of us really value international UU work and being able to live out our liberal values in other parts of the world. Eric said he is honored to be included in the sisterhood and pointed out that when the international UU groups started dissolving, that this women's group, helped keep the flame alive for those of us who really, really believe in international UU work. So that was a really nice thought. Being able to do the work with other people and keep our connections with this community that's valuable to all of us. And to be able to see, like Noelle could see, how much the work that we have done to profit young girls in her community. And we all agree that convos and being able to get together in person is the best, but this is how we keep going, and this is just fine. So, next.
Right.
So I was room 2, actually, and I was fortunate enough to have actually several of the speakers with me too. And I say fortunate in a lot of ways because we had a really interesting room, but we also, because we had a shortened amount of time, we already had their stories too. So we had a little bit of time for the rest because there was a lot to say, I think. So I was with Sylvia, Aljiva, Giza, and Jane and myself. And just to sort of make it short, I think really also, just like what Lee said, we talked just briefly about the fact that it's a small and powerful group and one that has continued to remain in existence, despite the fact that a lot of the other international groups have not for UU. And I think as well, like you said, Lee, we also mentioned about the in-person being so powerful. So we're very lucky that we have the chance to have these online meetings. And as an international organization, like Gizi was saying, it's not possible to be in person. Even once every 4 years, it's hard, but I mean, a couple times a week is not possible without technology. So at least we do have that. And I think that the overall overarching idea, I think, of the talk and how we sort of got there and what's really important was this ability to belong and being open to everyone. So no matter what your religious affiliation or not, no matter what your in general, that there's no discrimination based on the typical things that are sources of discrimination in other churches or even just in society. And so this is a place that welcomes everyone and that we can all feel like we belong. So that was a really powerful part of that, I think, for us, and especially for myself and Jane, that we're somewhat, well, Jane is not new actually to it, but I am new, and I think that was a powerful driver for both of us, is this idea that it's a place where everyone fits. I mean, everyone with similar values, at least. Some people wouldn't fit here well, but that's a good thing. But in general, that it's a place for good people to get together and share ideas and try to make a difference. So room 3.
Okay, that was us, myself, Rini, Genya, Jeannie, and Shahan. We were all drawn to ICUUW as an international organization that appealed to us, looking beyond borders, and the focus on women and girls is both empowering and important. The importance of women connecting. Jeannie pointed that out. She is a devoted member of our Tuesday gatherings, and how she said, she finds that so important to share with other women the women's point of view on issues, and because we live in a male-dominated world, and she finds that an important outlet, an important connection. And our membership is not just women. We have men who are supporters, like Shahan, who he said he is a proud member of ICUUW because he understands the importance of in the world today of empowering women and girls. It runs in his family. His family founded a school for girls in Bangladesh. So the importance of empowering women and girls around the world is what drew us to ICUUW and keeps us there. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
You.
And room number 4.
That's me.
Usually that's you.
And we were so lucky to share this room with Phyllis, with Christine, with Gail, with Wilda Zero, and myself. And well, we started to talk, and then Wilda Zero just disappeared, just somewhere. And well, where you are? Come back, come back. And she could join. And then Phyllis, who started to talk, then she just went away, and she came back to.
Yeah, what happened to us too? I think, Phyllis, you popped in and out of our room too. There were several people.
Okay, so there is a connection between all these rooms, and
some people were wandering in and out of rooms.
That's good. I felt that I could listen to these stories, which were so fascinating. Like Christine said that she just donated that money for herself to attend the Force Convo, and this is how she got in connection. in personal connection with ICUUW, and ever since she is an active member, and she does all this wonderful work, and she loved the ICUU ideas, and that's a fascinating story. So it's so wonderful to see that Karen asks her to be a sponsor, and then she becomes a member, and that is so wonderful. And then Phyllis, well, Karen and I didn't have enough time to speak anything. Sorry for that. And then came Phyllis, and then she disappeared, and then Gail just started to speak, and she had this wonderful climate change teaching career. And she was so fascinated that the fourth convo is in Romania, where the Botanical Arts Center is in the world. So that's I knew actually, but I just wanted to my sister is a biologist, so this is why I knew. And she was working there a little bit, but this is just how things are just merging together. And she thought how important is to her that there is an organization, a women's organization that has the very similar ideas and similar concerns, and about climate change, and wants to do something, and we are open to these ideas. So for her, as a teacher with her PhD, and being recently retired, this is so important, that started to be a very active member. And then Phyllis, she had to be very short, that she attended the Houston Convo, and ever since she is a very active member, bedrock of our organization. And well, this is so wonderful that she wanted to do something for the Philippines. And there is so wonderful that we can meet in person. So this what comes up all the time, that it's so wonderful to be connected through technology, but in-person connection is what makes, the whole organization moving. And I am just one of the girls of Gizi. So you were asking me once to do some little thing at the Marosvásárhely Convo, and ever since I'm here. Thank you, Gizi, for that. And Karen, I know a little bit about, but not from this meeting room, how you are connected to ICUUW. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know, Karen, do you want to say a couple words, or should we go ahead and just summarize? I mean, you're a key person here, so.
Yes.
So my first experience getting involved with ICUUW was with the second convocation in Transylvania. So I was not around for the first convocation, but I learned of ICUUW when the second convocation was coming up, and I went to Romania, and I learned so much and met so many fascinating women. And since then, I've become more and more involved. And as people know, I've been the acting executive director this year, and so it's been quite an interesting 13 years since I first found ICUUW, and I'm learning more every day and meeting new wonderful people every day. So I really appreciate this community.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for everything. So on our schedule here is just a little summary overall, the little summaries and summaries and summaries, the overarching, I guess, of what we all shared. We've all heard and said the same sort of messages, so we all kind of know what we're talking about here, but that it's an international organization with international reach is a very important part of it for all of us. That, of course, the focus on empowering women and children, connecting with each other, and a group of people with shared values. So this could be, like Juge even mentioned now, it could be climate justice. It doesn't, I mean, empowering women and children is not only about finance or only about, let's say, sexual violence or violence against women. It has lots and lots of different aspects. And so this small organization has a lot of different areas of involvement that all support sort of the same things. And along those lines, I think also that shared values also is the openness. So that was stressed a lot, is that people feel very welcome here from lots of different backgrounds. And I think just to close that a little bit, another of the themes that we had also is that it's a sort of a small but powerful organization, and that it's got longevity compared to other organizations that have stopped, and that we need to get the word out and get the membership up. So, I mean, I was mentioning that I found this group because I remembered friends from the States that were UU church members. And when I said to one of them, guess where I'm going when I went to the convocation, the ICUUW and the convocation or whatever, and she was like, what's that? So I think that it's really important to sort of spread the word and get people more aware of the organization. And I'm sure that there would be lots of people out there that would like to join or contribute or support if they knew more about it. So Rini, I think that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, Alison. Okay, it's over to Lee now for, unless there's anybody else who wants to raise a question, or I think we'll just move on to
Okay.
our wrapping up. And Gabor, you can show that last slide now. That would be great.
The membership engagement team put this this morning, evening, night together so that we could increase our connections with each other and be inspired by each other and understand our commitments and possibly grow them to this organizations. We're in a lot of different change. We're in a big period of change now. So we're all trying to do what we can to help things. So thank you to Gabor and Gretchen and the rest of the team for putting this together. And thanks to all of you who came to this gathering, because it's really important that we be able to stay connected at the heart like this and get inspired. Our ICUUW calendar on the website has meeting dates and times for all the committees. And if you would like to join in, there's a link for each meeting on the calendar. So, please get more involved. We appreciate it. And if you would like to learn more about the membership engagement team, have any questions about what we're doing or what we have done here, please email Rini, and her email is right there.
Well, and that about wraps it up from us, I think. So, thank you so much, everybody, for being on this call and participating and sharing stories. And let's just keep the flame burning. But speaking of flames, we need Zuzana to extinguish the chalice.
Thank you, Rini. At the end of our meeting, I have the chalice closing words. May we leave our gathering with uplifted spirits and enlivened hearts. We are holding stronger in our quest for peace and justice. We are embracing the wisdom, that shines through our gathering. May we bring with us the symbol of eternal source of life, the flame of our chalice. Amen.
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 Amen. Thank you.